What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, sir. Ski. That was a new yes, sir, ski right there. For all my OGs, I did that for y'all. And the newcomers as well. But anyway, you guys, man, we got Katt Williams just got Beyonce canceled after exposing this. Now, this is what the title says. But is Beyonce really canceled? I don't think she is. But who knows? Katt, he might can pull some cats out the hat. You never know. Let's get to the spicy.
So they this $20 million guy, but they reached $60 million in benefits. Wow. And they had some people from your city do it.
Turns out Katt Williams might have been referring to Beyonce when he gave that analysis. Why would he, you ask? Well, let's just say Queen Bey might not be exactly who we've all been thinking.
I always said she was the original Beyonce. Beyonce stole her steez.
Oh, you think so?
Look at Crazy in Love video and look at Amerie. Why We'll Fall in Love.
And then here's Beyonce's version.
Look-alike too.
And when she's not taking their creativity and putting them on ice, she's flat out ending their careers for speaking against her.
And buy them, and that's what business they're in. Why would you think it would be weird if they flipped out and said a story that turned out to not be true?
I believe by now, I don't need to tell you Katt Williams has been on an obdurate exposing spree. If I do, then it's either one of two things. Firstly, you probably live under a rock, or you're just in denial. Well, these days, the comedian has shifted his focus from people like Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer to bigger fish like the music industry's royalty, the Carter family. Not so much the Carter family as it is Beyonce in particular, and it seems our Queen Bey might not be as innocent as she's positioned herself in the media over the years. Of course, there's no corner of the earth where Beyonce requires a formal introduction. I mean, common, she's Beyonce. Many would even describe her as the pinnacle of stardom. However, according to Williams, it seems she might have had field days running several people over to get to that position. This time, Williams' claims are more than just mere unconfirmed assertions. There actually is a blood trail in Beyonce's wake, figuratively speaking, of course. Beyonce took the industry by storm at a time when R&B was the order of the day, and half the artists that were on air at the time were also doing that type of music, just so you know how much competition we're talking about. But even through these odds, the woman managed to stand above everyone that she was up against. Most of us assumed it was skill. The good looks also didn't hurt, but it turns out the woman might have sacrificed some of these competitors we've been speaking about along the line. These details seem to have become Katt Williams' topic of choice in recent times, as the comedian is leaving no stone unturned in exposing the dark deeds of your favorite celebrities. In Beyonce's case in particular, it seems the singer has been able to get away with a whole lot, expressly because of her status as someone very few people both within and outside the industry can speak on. But if there's one thing Katt Williams is known for, it's being defiant of the rules. It is in this spirit the comic has now decided to bring his war against Hollywood to the singer's doorstep. What gives these sacrifice tales some pull to them is that Williams isn't even the first person to raise the alarm about something like this happening in Hollywood, even more so that Beyonce might be at the center of these details. Knowing how much influence the woman has, it's not far-fetched that Katt's claims have been met with a lot of gaping faces, and others going the route of calling him out for chasing clout. Something these people don't entirely seem to understand is that Katt is no stranger to getting called out. It's been happening to him almost all his life in the limelight. While his getting called out has been filled with claims like him getting tagged crazy or a drug addict, the one thing everyone has been able to agree on concerning him is that the man is not a liar. If that's the case, what does this say about Beyonce?
Oh, narrative.
Beyonce has been trying to write me out of my own narrative for like years at this point. Like, this is...
Over the years, Beyonce has been one of the most consistent acts that have led the industry for years. Right from when she started singing with her friends at only 9, the songstress has placed the entire world in such a chokehold that people get mad when she doesn't release a project for an extended period. Now married to Jay-Z, the duo have together become arguably the most powerful couple in Hollywood, as they share spaces with all the biggest names across other industries, even all the way up to politics. This in turn has led to her getting used as the blueprint for anyone looking to succeed in that line of work. However, it seems all the people that helped her land in that position might not have been telling the entire truth about who she is when the cameras aren't rolling. And this is exactly where Katt Williams comes in. Outside of comedy, you could say Katt is something of a whistleblower in the industry, because the man sure loves to sing about the things that go on behind the scenes, and recently he's been on a roll.
All lies will be exposed, that's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
While his interview calling out several of his own colleagues has been making the rounds on the internet, the days of people talking about the comic have been on for much longer. A while back, the comedian, or occasional rapper, spoke about how many things we see in the industry today are plots that some of the top players already decided on behind closed doors. Establishing his point even more, Williams has maintained that every time something unexpected happens, like, say, Will Smith smacking Chris Rock in front of a live audience, or Janet Jackson having a wardrobe malfunction, Williams believes it's all for the benefit of certain people in the industry.
There was forethought and a plan. Somebody, even if it looks like, yeah, Janet Jackson just had a wardrobe malfunction. Yeah, there's no such thing.
Correct.
Who you blaming?
I believe that.
This particular example he gave seems to be eerily close to what happened between Beyonce and Amerie, where the latter pretty much lost her career. Amerie might have been born into a conservative family with strict rules and a slim prospect of pursuing music, but the singer still managed to rise through everything she faced. The singer broke into the industry and rode a successful wave for a couple of years till things started to become difficult for her, and this is where Beyonce comes into this conversation. Amerie struggled with getting her music out there. When she was working on her second album in 2004, she sought the help of producer Rich Harrison, who's known for working with both J-Lo and Beyonce. He's previously helped Amerie in her first album, All I Have. The producer and his team finished the lead single for the second album, One Thing, in only 2 to 3 hours. Everyone felt good about the track that it was immediately sent to Amerie's label, Columbia.
I found something on Twitter. Amerie drops her debut album, All I Have, in 2002. Her sole producer is Rich Harrison. He gives her signature sound vocals. Beyonce is a fan. She tracks Rich Harrison down. He gives her Crazy in Love.
The record company didn't like it. They wanted bigger choruses. Amerie and Harrison quickly got back to work, trying to improve the song as asked. The label kept rejecting every version they turned in. The singer said that people just weren't getting it. At last, after 6 months of recording the final output, they decided to leak it to radio stations instead. But apparently, Columbia was trying to K off the single since J-Lo was about to record her own album, Rebirth. With radio stations refusing to pull out One Thing from their playlists, Amerie got the official release she deserved. The Let's Get Loud hitmaker ended up doing Get Right, another song produced by Harrison. Fans thought it was all suspicious. Some internet detectives began to trace the origins of Beyonce's 2003 hit Crazy, In Love to Amerie's One Thing, and Why Don't We Fall in Love. In an interview with MTV in 2004, the former Destiny's Child member said that what made Crazy in Love a hit was the horn hook. She explained that it has this go-go feel to it, this old school feel. I wasn't sure if people were going to get it. This was her version.
I always said she was the original Beyonce. Beyonce stole her steez.
Oh, you think so?
Look at Crazy in Love video and look at Amerie, Why Don't We Fall in Love.
And here was Beyonce on Crazy in Love. See it too? But wait a minute.
Yeah.
Didn't Amerie talk about people not getting
That's
her sound,
crazy.
which coincidentally had that same go-go feel?
That's
It's
crazy.
a real head-scratcher. Anyway, the Beyhive rushed to defend their queen, arguing that Crazy in Love dropped before One Thing. But let's rewind a bit. Rich Harrison, Amerie's original producer, had Crazy in Love before he jumped ship to work with Beyonce. So, who really had it first? Well, just because a song hit the airwaves first doesn't mean it was conceived first. Amerie's sound might have allegedly been swiped long before Beyonce dropped Crazy in Love. It's like a complicated game of musical chairs with careers on the line. Beyonce's daddy, Matthew Knowles, was apparently pulling the strings. Rich spilled the beans, saying, "Yeah, I had it in the chamber. I hadn't really shopped it much because sometimes you don't want to come out of the bag before it's right. People don't really get it, and you'll leave them with a foul taste in their mouth. So it was was just something that I held on to until I got the call from B. Translation: they were strategically holding back to make sure everything was just right. Even fans noticed how Beyonce ripped Amerie off her sound. I still listen to Amerie's music today. I love her voice, her style, everything about her is a vibe. Yes, I believe Beyonce and JLo stole her sound, dance moves, and style, but true fans know Amerie brought go-go to the mainstream, and nobody has done it better than her.
Touch. Lead single's One Thing, which bears a striking resemblance to Crazy in Love. It's Amerie trying to reclaim a sound that was hers in the first place.
Seeing as the woman left music entirely after that, you can probably understand why there might be a narrative that Beyonce may have unalived the singer for her own musical success. Okay, maybe if it were just Amerie, we could write it off as a one-time thing, but this was far from the case, as there have been a couple of other suspicious situations where people's careers flopped, and it all led back to the Queen Bey. If you don't know sisters Halle and Chloe Bailey from the series of shows and movies they've been on, then you probably know that both women have the voices of angels. But even that wasn't enough to save them from the Beyonce curse.
You know, there are plenty of teen singing sensations on YouTube, but this pair are so popular they caught the eye of the Queen Bee herself. Sisters Chloe and Halle Bailey are getting information.
Watch out,
Beyonce
Baileys.
2.0 is...
Aside from their obvious talent, Chloe and Halle's meteoric success can partly be attributed to Beyonce. Chloe first met the musician in 2003 when she played a younger version of Beyonce's character in The Fighting Temptations. She and her sister Halle were later signed to Bey's Parkwood Entertainment Management Company and have been guided by the superstar ever since. So far, Chloe x Halle have been nominated for 4 Grammys and have individually gone on to acting success, but that's only half the story.
And apparently she had started watching all of our videos, and you know, we got an email from her company, Parkwood, and they were like, hey, can we post this on all of her socials? And are you all signed?
You see, their journey, particularly Chloe's, hasn't been a smooth sail, and several fans believe that is Beyonce's fault. Besides the television projects they've been working on, Chloe dropped a project early last year, and the turnout wasn't exactly what you'd expect from someone signed to Beyonce. Per the news, after Chloe Bailey's debut album, In Pieces, only sold 10,000 album units, fans took to social media to blame her mentor, Beyonce, for not promoting her project online. Beyonce literally hates her. Lol didn't do anything for the album, couldn't even give her a feature, and she not even opening up for her during the tour. Chloe need to leave that label. One critic tweeted. Another person added, not to be funny, but I really want to know what was the point of Beyonce signing Chloe? Like, was it for a look? So that someone can be under her? I don't get it, because how do you let your artist drop an album and you don't support it not once, and now she sold 10K? What most people really think happened is that Beyonce didn't want Chloe to steal her shine, and in turn decided to dim her light by limiting the reach and sales of her album. However, it seems Queen Bey might be in the business of doing a lot more than just limiting people's bags, because once could be a coincidence, twice could be her hindering another's bag, but a third time, that's definitely diabolical. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Beyonce's third straw. In the third installment of Beyonce's sketchy history of making people suddenly fall off the grid, involved Azealia Banks, and boy does she know how to hold a grudge. In fact, she was still calling Beyonce out as recently as a couple of months ago, even though their feud dates back years. Never one to hold back her feelings, the US rapper absolutely dragged the Crazy in Love hitmaker and compared her sellout world tour to, Cabaret? It seems this is the latest installment of Azealia drama, as she's become famous for sharing scathing opinions about Hollywood and the music industry, beefing with some of the biggest A-listers. Deciding to continue with Bey being her rival, she was asked on Instagram how the Renaissance tour was, after previously sharing her excitement to get tickets. Writing back in a lengthy rant, Banks began, I stayed home. I decided I didn't want to see Giselle and Blue Ivy's Cabaret. I wasn't leaving the comfort of my mansion to hear her sing Mary J. Blige covers, and literally watch the same show I can watch on Instagram. She continued, in a big way, I kinda got over her that night. For a woman who's done so much nasty stuff behind the scenes to stifle other black female artists, yet still is too afraid to come at Adele for kaying on her little lemonade stunt and tearing a Grammy in half while she's in the front row pregnant? Lamau, literally she begs people like Dixie Chicks, Shakira, and Adele for collabs, but doesn't pay the legion of black women who pen her songs. Azealia concluded, And I had a second thought about how tasteless it was for her to have the legendary Kevin G's prodigy sweating her wig out and performing from the pit. No, Giselle, you thought you went hard. You need to go harder. May look like her anger is limited to Beyoncé's tour, but it actually dates much further into the past. Back in 2022, Banks called out Beyoncé and claimed Queen Bey was trying to erase the Harlem, New York rapper's contributions to house music. Beyoncé, at the time, had the music world talking after releasing her new single Break My Soul, which saw Jay-Z's wife tapping into house music, but this is only what the media said. Anyway, following this, in June 2022, Banks, who has been a purveyor of house music throughout her career, went on her Instagram story and went in. Banks's rant started in written form. She first shared a quote from an anonymous source in a Metro UK article that claimed Bey used Banks' music as well as others to brainstorm for upcoming records. She loves the fact that so many black writers and DJs are thriving in the dance scene over there and was paying attention to songs by people like Mr. Jam, David Asante, Eminem, Camille, and early Azealia Banks when brainstorming, The Insider told the publication. You're brainstorming with 6 people to my early records, Banks wrote, which are miles beyond whatever flaccid and insecure attempt you just made to try for an attention grab during Pride Month, when you don't give a damn about the gays any other time of the year. From there, the Icy Colors Change artist shared audio of her venting about what she sees as a move by Bey to make people forget about Banks.
Beyonce has been trying to write me out of my own narrative for like years at this point. Like, this is so weird. So, early Azealia Banks records. Okay, so what are you trying to do?
Okay, I'm sorry, but this is effing creepy, Banks begins. Beyonce has been trying to write me out of my own narrative for like years at this point. Like, this is so effing weird. So, early Azealia Banks records. So, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to encapsulate my music in time and say like, you know, it's vintage or something? As if my last 3 releases have not whooped your A? Are you kidding? As if I'm not showing major versatility and all of that. You want me to not be Yamaya so effing badly. You want it to be Solange. You want it to be Chloe Bailey, Little Mermaid movie. And you don't include Azealia Banks. Like, oh my effing God, you're a joke. She continued, you're so sneaky. You're trying to erase my contributions to house music, dance music, electronic music, and all that and make it as if I'm God knows who. Just encapsulate me in time. You're a effing creep. You're a effing creep, Beyonce. And you watch everything I do. Banks couldn't possibly be zeroing in on Beyonce like this if there really wasn't anything to her claims about Beyonce. Maybe it's been the singer's MO right from the beginning to steal things from different creatives just to put herself at the pinnacle of it all. This is exactly what Katt Williams meant when he said things may not always be as they appear in the industry. Speaking of Williams, the comic has mentioned some names in recent times that he believes are deviants and will be exposed this year.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them.
I know you just heard Katt mention Diddy as one of the deviants. Well, do you know who's been rubbing feet with Diddy for years? Queen Bey herself. I can't even call it news anymore that Diddy and Jay-Z are beyond friends. The men, who both came up around the same time in the music industry, have maintained a tight relationship with each other over the years. And you know what has followed Diddy around in all this time? Controversy after controversy. If it's not claims of him being involved in some demonic dealings, it's him having other artists do unthinkable things for a check. Now, seeing as Beyonce has been around for the entire ride, it makes you wonder why this showstopper has stayed silent through the horrendous reports that have been coming up about her husband's seeming bestie. I'm sure you've heard by now that Diddy's life may not be going as smoothly as it always has. Well, if you haven't, you might want to sit tight for this.
All right, we have more breaking news. Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs is accused of a lawsuit by R&B singer Cassie claims that she was in a years-long relationship with Combs that also involved beatings.
In November, the singer Cassie, real name Cassandra Ventura, filed an explosive federal lawsuit against her former partner Diddy, claiming he had been physically and SA throughout their relationship. Now, some people might be wondering why Beyonce's name keeps coming up in all of this. Well, that's because besides her husband's long relationship with the man, she's also had her own moments with him, as the singer had collaborated with with him years back. In the 2003 collaboration, Beyonce celebrates that special moment when a woman knows she's finally found her true love, someone who'll really listen, a friend. In Diddy's rap at the end of the song, he says how much he loves her and how she brings out the best in him. He also promises to take her on a summertime adventure, which includes a search for precious gems. He sings, "We can cruise the world for pearls." Oh, and there's also a surprise engagement. The rap continues, "And that's your plan. Where's your hand? Let me ice that. You my heart ain't no chance you could fight that." Released on 12-inch vinyl as the B-side to #1 mega hit, Crazy in Love. Summertime also charted, peaking at #35 on the US Billboard Hot 100. Critics praised Summertime as a breezy dance number that leaves the listener on a smooth, laid-back high. Beyonce acknowledged early in her career that Summertime was one of her favorite songs. It was part of her set list for both the Dangerously in Love tour in 2003 and the Verizon Ladies First tour in 2004. At the very least, this tells you that Beyonce must have somewhat had a relationship with Diddy, if not at the moment, at least at the time. And if Diddy is who she chose to get tight with, it says a whole lot about her character. Or not. Tell us what you think.
Beyonce, Beyonce. Bro, dang, Amerie is still a great artist, man. She has an amazing voice, bro. Chloe Bailey, selling 10,000 albums? And she signed under the Queen Bee? Bro, if that ain't a sketchy one, I swear, bro. So what? My question is, Beyonce, why did you sign Chloe? Why? If you're not gonna promote her album, you didn't do anything for her, bro. You was afraid. I get it. But she's very talented, just like the other artists, bro. You was a swagger jacker, or whatever you want to call her. Bro, Beyonce, you need to cut that shit out, man. That is downright ridiculous right there, Beyonce. Come on now. Dang, bro, I swear. Boy, Hollywood get weirder and weirder. I swear to God.